want to talk about the vulnerable children in the UK. So when I talk about vulnerable, what do I actually mean? Anybody that we classify as vulnerable is a young person that has a care plan, learning plan, that has mental health difficulties, has a key worker or social worker, and for that reason have extra special needs. Now, there was a directive through the COVID that vulnerable young people and young people whose parents work in the help profession can go to school. But of those people, the vulnerable ones, of which we've got 700,000, only 5% of them go to school. Now, this sparked off a debate for us, because here we have, we're in schools and we're supporting young people, helping them manage issues with their health, which may manifest as bulimia and eating disorders. And then we had to pull out because the schools were closed. And after the schools were closed, we contacted them, and we've been able to contact them, and their teachers have been unable to contact them. Herein lies a problem. Because of all of this, we are searching of ways that we can support this young person, because it would be wrong for us to wait until September and then think we could continue, and that there's no, because we're all far-reaching effects and impact of mental health on young people, the ones that are struggling, as well as new cases. So we have 5% of young people, vulnerable people, going into school. That 95% are not going into school and not getting the support. Now, a lot of these young people, some of them are carers, some of their parents are struggling with their own lives. And these young people are finding it difficult because their parents, for example, are furloughed. They don't have a salary, they can't pay for the internet, they don't have a computer. So they're lucky if they've got one computer for the whole family. But what's happening is there seems to be a dichotomy going on, whereas the ones, young people from that have greater privilege, that means that, with more money and resources, their parents spend money on them to help them through the COVID virus, to help them buy online teachers, like online lessons, in addition to other resources that they may need. Whereas the ones that live in areas of less privilege don't have the computer. Their parents can't afford to pay for the internet because they're struggling to pay for their food. So have a lot of young people attempting to, maybe in these areas, attempting to do homework on their mobile phones. That's if they can get a signal. They're unable to send in the homework. Teachers are stressing out. So, hi James, how are you? So we have written a petition. We started it up a couple of weeks ago. We have nearly 2,000 signatures, on 1,000 signatures. Why have we done the petition? Well, Gavin will our education secretary, sorry about that, he directed quite kindly that 200,000 of year 10 kids, that means they're between years old, should have computers, taking exams, right? So they'll have access to a basic education, or an education which is their right. But that means there's still 200,000 kids outside of those ages that to anything. And so, for example, kids that we are supporting that we can't see, we can't speak with them, they can't phone us because their parents can't afford their phone bill. And with the computer and the 4G Wi-Fi internet supply, at least they'll be able to and have access to a basic education. So I'm sure that you'll agree that it's a simple thing to do, just providing the internet and the laptop, because these kids aren't going back. Some of them aren't even going back in September, and they need something, because young people from the more affluent areas and private schools, they have the support, they have more of the support, they have live teaching and all of this, and the other ones that can't afford it, that don't have the money to do it, they are suffering, and they are the silent ones. So they're suffering, and we need to support. So I'm going